everyone. It's Candace and Terry and also Barbra Portzline. You're watching 123 Conversations, where we have one topic, two hosts, and we ask 3 questions of our guests or of each other. The goal of our show is to really bring some clarity, actionable steps to people who might be watching, who are in need of guidance, direction, inspiration, all of the above. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm super excited because one of my close friends is with us today, and that's Dr. Barbra Portzline, who's hello. Yay. Hi, Dr. Barbara. Or I will, we were talking beforehand. I'm like, should I be calling you Dr. B or Dr. Portzline? And she's like, wanted to be called a Queen or Your Highness or whatever, but we'll just go with Barb. That's fine. So what's really interesting about Barbara, she's been in business for over 20 years and she's done everything, but she's mostly known for helping people make money, like seriously get results, not the stuff where you hire a coach and then you stay in the same position. She typically gives people like a 30% increase in revenue, but with all of her years of experience and her pivot into realizing, oh, holy shit, she's a psychic medium and helping people intuitively, and that just enhanced everything that she's doing. And right now she's focused on helping businesses, corporations find $100,000 in their business. So hello, anyone watching this, if you would like to find $100,000 in your business that you might be missing out on opportunities or overspending, she helps you find 100,000, and she does it in 45 minutes or less. And that's something that she has cultivated over her 20 years experience and also PS psychic medium. So thank you for being on our show, Barbara.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I call you Barb? I want to call you Barb instead of Barbara.
You can call me anything you want except like Barbie doll. That's just the only one that doesn't fly well, but anything else, I am game for it.
All right, cool.
Terry, I know you. I'm going to be getting a Barbie doll message after this.
That is hilarious. That is so funny. So firstly, I am so curious about what you see is when you're talking about you can help people find $100,000 in their business in 45 minutes. What are some of the common things that you are noticing that people are overlooking, or that, like, how are you, not necessarily how are you doing that, because that's like your whole deal, your whole business, but what is it that people are overlooking on their journey to finding like an extra $100,000? What's going on there?
So there's so many pieces, right? There's about 30 different areas where people are not doing what they should do in their business. But the main piece that I'm seeing is around marketing, and it's around marketing messaging. So if you take like just someone's website, the average person's website, and I'm you may be above average, whatever it is, but when I look at a website, a lot of times it's some like beautiful photo of the person, like smack dab in the front. You're like, here's Dr. Barbara. Here's Dr. Barbara's credentials. Here's Dr. Barbara's beautiful logo that she spent $250,000 on, this great logo, and she's been doing it for 7 months, and her website looks so pretty. And it's all about Barbara or the business owner, and not about the ideal client, what their pain points are and what they really need help with. And that's one of the critical things that right off the bat, anyone can do. They can look at their website and see, like, is this for me or is it for my ideal client? Mm-hmm. And do you want me to keep talking? Because I can. Or do you want me to shut up now? Okay, good.
No.
So, yeah.
I just want to say either way, yeah, and that is so true. It's like, what's in it for you or what's in it for me? And it was interesting. I was listening to a short little snippet, something Seth Godin was being interviewed on yesterday, and I wrote down this little quote: marketing is the engine of our culture. So we should never, ever, ever like apologize for marketing our business or marketing ourselves, because it is the thing that we need the most. It's the thing that keeps everything running. And when we dumb down and don't step out and into that, it's a disservice to everyone. So yeah, and it's how you do it and how you send your message.
I agree 100%. I think that's critical.
Mm-hmm.
So this is such a bold, intense claim. Something I want to ask you about is, how do you get to a place where you feel so confident in knowing this is exactly what I do, and I know it's effective, and I know that there are going to be results? How are you how did you claim that? Like, was that an easy thing for you to claim, to like have the confidence of owning that and knowing that that is the truth, you know? Or was it hard to accept, oh, this is my role? Because this is something that you haven't been doing. You've pivoted a lot of times because you've been in business for over 20 years, but like, how did you come to own that so strongly? I'm psychic. This is like a wooey question as well, but it's like very strong in your energy field and your vibration. How are you doing that? How are you able to hold that space?
By screwing everything up so royally for a million effing years. I mean, honestly, I mean, honestly, that's the biggest thing, right? I had so many traumas and dramas and screw ups and, all of that stuff. And at where I am right now, I would not trade any of them. I wouldn't trade any uncomfortable conversation. Anytime I had to walk with my tail between my legs, apologizing for screwing something up or not giving results or whatever it was, I wouldn't trade any of it, because at this point in my life, I feel 150% confident and I guarantee all of my results. And I will tell you, very few people do that. There are very few people that say, you know what, if I can't find you $100,000 in 45 minutes, you can have all of your money back and I'll pay you for your time. That's because I'm so confident in what I do. And how did I get there? By screwing everything up and by learning from every single experience. I think the biggest piece with business owners is there are a lot of imposters out there, right? There are a lot of people that have the severe haircut, the beautiful suit, their hair doesn't have little flyaways, there's no gray in it or whatever it is. And they look great on their beautiful website again, where everything is so pretty. And yes, some people get sucked into that. But I would just tell you that a lot of those folks, they have pretty, but that's all they have. And so I would just encourage any business owner, if you're not confident that you're getting results, then go out there and do some work for free, do some work low cost, ask for testimonials, check back with your clients, all of those things. Because if you're not in it 100% and able to talk about it, it's going to be really hard to grow your business.
I love that.
Very, very true.
I have another question. What do you do to keep moving forward when you feel like all you're doing is making mistakes? When you get excited about something as entrepreneurs and then it falls apart or it doesn't give you the success that you thought it would, like, how do you keep moving forward, or what's your reframe when you're experiencing that?
I am just personally for me, like my mind does not stop, right? I'm like 20 steps ahead of what's coming out of my mouth. My mind is already building something else. And so one of the things, when things don't go the way I want them to, or I've had a mishap, I have to figure out how to shut off my freaking mind, because my mind wants to figure it all out. So I literally, and I know other people feel this, like you literally like all night, you're just working, trying it. And so what I learned how to do, and I didn't learn how to do this until I was 44 and I'm 51. I'm proud of it. Woohoo. It took a while, but what I do is I actually give it up to spirit, universe, whatever. And I literally get out of my human and I connect to my higher power. And I say, God, spirit, universe, like, I can't effing figure this out anymore. Figure it out for me. Make things work out. And I give up the control, because I was so used to controlling everything for so long. Giving it up and realizing sometimes, this stuff is supposed to happen, and it will take you closer to where you need to be. So I literally just say, like in the middle of the night, if I wake up and my head is spinning, I say, okay, God, spirit, universe, connect me to the Barbra that feels light, that feels happy, that's doing things right, that is, not having all of this stress, and let me flip and sleep. And so that's kind of how I do it.
Mm-hmm. The magic of rest too really does help with that reset.
Yes,
right.
Stay. So it's important.
Except for last night. Last night I was up in the middle of the night, like checking. I was remembering things all day, and I'm like, I need to be on this thing. I need the link. And my head is going crazy. So last night was a different story. I couldn't connect to that, but for the most part, I do. And then the other piece I would say is just along those lines is I firmly believe you choose how you feel. So I am one, I did a live on this the other day. Mindset is so flippin' important. And I'm not talking about like sitting there and like trying to manifest millions of dollars. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like, at the deepest level, looking at what is your mindset? Do you believe that you control your destiny and that you can create success for yourself? Or do you believe that it's luck or things just happen or whatever it is? And getting your mindset in that frame that you have control, you don't have control over everything, but you can control how you feel, right, what you give into, what you learn from, or what kills you in so many ways. And so every day I choose my day. I wake up, even if I'm anxious about something, I say, you know what, today's going to be a kick-ass day. I am going to choose to be in it and I'm going to win it. And that's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Right.
Really good stuff.
So,
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I don't mean to hijack.
There was only 3 questions. What the heck are you guys doing to me? There's like 35
you
already.
Know it's 3 and some extra. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have lots of questions. Plus, you're interesting, and we want to know more. One of the things I was looking at, you're talking about your P6 assessment. Is the P6 assessment your 45-minute consultation?
You want the secret.
Or is it something different?
It's something different. So the P6 assessment I developed for larger organizations that looks at people, process, practice, promotions, productivity, and profit. Okay. And I go into organizations and assess where they are, where they want to be in all of those areas. And then through a combination of badass knowledge and super crazy intuition, I literally figure out the right interventions for them based on where they want to be. Okay. The 45 minutes coming up with at least $100,000 in your business is a combination, again, from experience and a software that I use, which is stinking amazing, okay, where I put in all of your financials. I look at all of the things you're doing for marketing, for bundling, for pricing, there's about 30 different points in your business that I can look at. Wow. And then based on your answers, we see how much money can come in your business. So it's a really cool process.
That's really great. The other thing too, I just want to mention, just from having some history with you in this market over the last few years, you've been on my radar now maybe 4 years or 5 years. Your signature programs, I'm like, that's great. I see these women come into your programs and they walk out and they're like whole new human beings and they are launching businesses. They have confidence in themselves. And I think, are those usually your signature programs? Are those like a weekend jumpstart and then you do follow-up coaching with people after that? Or how is that?
So many things, Terry, so many things.
I can't help it. No, but it's so wonderful. So, I mean, just from sitting on the sidelines, I've watched people go into your workshops and come out just golden on the other side. So I know your work is good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I help people develop their programs, their packaging, their pricing, all of those things. And then taking it to the next level is, I've done that for years. And so, yes, lots of people have gone to 2-day intensives, different kinds of programs that I've held over the past, 5 years or so in that area. And now what I realize is, yes, you can have your program, you can have your pricing set, you can know what you're doing, but if you don't know how to market it, it's dead. And so a lot of my energy now is focused on helping people with strategies to market their program and get money in their business, because you could design stuff till you're blue in the face, but if you're not making any money, none of it counts. So that's kind of where I've moved to. So I look at things like digital strategies. I look at things like joint ventures and how you can partner with people. I look at how people are writing their marketing. Are they using something which I call the conversion equation that really gets people to raise their hand and want to work with them? Are they bundling their program and packages in a way that gives a ton of value so they can differentiate themselves? Like, there's so many different pieces now that are so critical, and most people don't know how to do them.
Right. No, it's genius. It sounds like you're really helping people fill in the gap. Right, and
Yeah.
all of your strategies that you're doing in your various programs, it's like, oh, we need to do this over here or this over here. Oh, we see maybe a blind spot you have right here, so let's help you fill that in.
And the confidence piece is part of that, like, intuition stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can look at somebody and they can say, oh yeah, I'm going to go do that. That sounds great. And then they leave my office and they're like, oh, I don't want to do any of that. It's like, why didn't you just tell me when we were in, face to face? Like, I can give you some ideas. We can shift it. It doesn't,
right.
But people are so used to just like saying, okay, this person has a great program. I'm going to sign up online. I'm going to do it,
right.
This way, even if I'm not going to do it. And it's like, I don't do that with my clients. I'm like, are you going to implement this? If they say no, then it's like, get back into my office and let's talk.
Right.
Because my success is based on my client's success, always. Right.
What do you think is the thing that holds people back the most? Do you think it's fear of success? Do you think it's laziness? Do you think it's just wanting someone else to do the work for them? What do you think? What is the thing that you most commonly see in the people?
The thing I most commonly see is around, it's so weird. People need permission to go big. That's what I find. I find that they, if they are working with somebody that believes in them, that sees the vision, that knows how to implement it, and literally can hold their hand and nurture them through that process, they're super successful.
Okay.
If they feel like there's any doubt in their mind and whoever they're talking to reinforces that doubt, a lot of times people collapse. So like with my clients, I'm not their friend. Like, I am their friend because I love all my clients, and I'm not their friend. Like, I'm literally there to say, okay, your husband is preventing you from building your business because you have to watch the kids and you have to do this and you can't set back. It's like, get rid of your husband or get rid of your business because this is not working. And sometimes people have to hear that.
Right.
And I would be doing someone a disservice if I'm like, oh yeah, that's great, So I think it really is around confidence and having someone believe in you and show you the steps. And then the other piece is sometimes people just don't know. I started my business by trial and error, and I did a hell of a horrible job for many, many years, like ridiculous. Like, I claimed bankruptcy. I lost my house. I had horrible relationships. There was a lot that happened as a result of me being too proud to ask for help, thinking I was too smart and I can figure it out. And it was like, oh no, you absolutely cannot. You're a freaking mess. And spirit, God, universe kept hitting me over the head. Like, you're going to screw this up and this is going to be screwed up. So yeah, but it was all in my head.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead, Terry.
Oh no, I've been talking. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and you must be psychic because you took the words out of my mouth, is you're one of the few people I met in my entrepreneurial journey who you have that, bigness is not a thing, but that sense of, oh, we can do so much, and why not say, I helped people get $100,000. I can do that in 45 minutes. Like let's do, instead of people want to collaborate with me and let's do like a workshop, and it's like, hey, let's do it in Hawaii. Okay, fine. Is that like bigger? Why wouldn't we do something that is amazing? We don't have to wait to be some version of who we think we are before we start doing the things that we want to do in the big way. Yep. And I'm really curious to hear, well, let me back up, because the thing I want to add when you were speaking, that's where it's very helpful if you have a coach or a group where you can get out of your head with it and see, because sometimes you don't know how small you're playing. It just feels like that's just what life is and that's what you have to do. And one of the things that was really helpful for me in my entrepreneurial journey was when I took it was like a coaching program for marketing, and it was led primarily by straight white guys, and they were very young.
Yeah.
And it was so refreshing in a way, because previous to that, I'd always studied like women coaches, women primarily entrepreneurial groups. And it was so interesting. This is the dynamics of when you have young white guys leading something versus women. And the difference I saw is women spend a lot of time really thinking about other people's feelings, but not in a constructive way. It's more like, ooh, what are they going to think? I don't want to come across as too salesy. I don't want to come across as too this or too that. Where the guys were like, this is awesome. People need it. Why wouldn't I put myself out there? Like, this is to help people. No one's going to find me if I stay hidden. Their mind wasn't so focused on, let me like stay small to make other people comfortable. And I hadn't experienced that before. I didn't know, it was just a different way of doing things. But to see these young guys have an idea and then just throw themselves into it and back it up with marketing without hesitation. They didn't care if they were like, they cared enough where they didn't want to harm people, but they had tests built in. And it wasn't like if they made a mistake, they were the ones who showed me, oh, well, now I know not to do that and keep it moving. It wasn't like, oh my God, I really need to sit really hard and figure out who I am. And like, it wasn't, failure was not a part of their identity. It was a part of the process when I was in that group. So I love what you're saying. And I am curious to know, how do you incorporate your mediumship into the work that you do, if you do at all, or how does that come up for you? How does that impact you?
Now you're getting super woo-woo on me, which is good. So I know this is going to sound a little crazy to some people, and I don't care. I connect to people's spirit instead of their human a lot of times. So like I sit with somebody and I hear what they're saying, their human is saying, and I'm literally like, I like to think like I'm above their head connecting to their spirit and at the same time feeling what their spirit is communicating. And then I speak what needs to be said. I don't know how to explain that any other way. So I'm going to leave it at that.
I love it though. That's basically connecting. So can you give an example of when that, I know it's helpful all the time, and this might be too much of an on the spot question, but off the top of your head, when is that really useful? Is it like what you were saying before with a person who's like, my husband won't let me, and is that their spirit then coming to you and saying it's either the husband or the business, the human can't do both?
So how to explain this? Yes. And a lot of times I was super empathic. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not empathic, but I could feel people's feelings throughout my entire life. And having a lot of trauma, drama, and experiences that really rocked my core for so many years. And I talk about them sometimes when I do live events, but there's long history of many different traumas. And so when somebody comes to my office or when I'm meeting with somebody online and I know they have had I can feel when they've had some kind of trauma of some sort. I may not know the details. I don't really try to know the details, and I can feel it. And so it's what happens with me is because I've done so much work on myself and I call myself on my shit, I call it out with the people that I'm sitting with. Like I'll sit with somebody and they'll say, yeah, I can do that. And I think that's going to work. And even if they say it confidently, I'm making it seem wimpy, but even if they say, yes, I'm totally going to do it. And I think it's going to work. And then like all of a sudden, like I get this big feeling, oh no, this is like, it's their shit that's coming up. And so right. I call them on it. And I don't know how to explain it. It happens a lot. It happens a lot with self-worth, right? So if people have had a lot of trauma, drama and things in their life, or not in healthy relationships, or not around healthy people, or people that have their highest and best, I can work with that, right? It just takes a little bit more of my intuition work and a little bit less of the planning work. So you can have the best plan in the entire world. You can have a roadmap on how you're going to make a whole bunch of money in your business. But if your shit sets in and you have all these experiences and they're not addressed, it's really hard to implement. So that's part of why I don't do one and dones with people very much. Like I have long-term programs, and the one and done, someone will leave my office all excited. And then again, their stuff sets in and it's not going to happen. So I don't want that. So I don't know if I answered the question.
you answer it perfectly. And I'm getting chills as you speak. It's so true. You know, people are always on the search for more and more information, but it's like knowing what to do isn't going to make you do it. Right. Like, I think, and that goes back to what you were saying earlier about mindset and making the choice. And what Terry was asking about is like, oh, well, what's holding people back? So no, I love that. Very clear.
There are things that people in their core that hold them back. And if you haven't addressed what that issue is, it's going to keep coming up over and over and show itself in a million different ways. So it's good that you really dig deep, or you're working with that intuition aspect too. It's like, I know we've got more right here. We're going to just like chisel away at this until we can get to the bottom of it and then clear it and then keep going.
And it's funny because it's like a mixture, right? Like I don't want to be anyone's psychotherapist. You know, my background is in clinical psych. I did that for years, and that's not my area. Mm-hmm. I'm a super sweet person. I'm not very warm and fuzzy. And so it's like this balance, right? Because I don't want to open up a whole bunch of stuff. And at the same time, it's like, if my job is to help you make money and build your business, and there is something that I see that is loud and clear that is stopping you, I have to call you out on it. And if it doesn't work and it's not a good fit, I mean, right now I'm much better at picking the ideal client than I was before. But if it didn't work and it wasn't going to work, done. We just don't need to work together anymore.
Right.
Oh, I love that.
Saying no, power of no.
Right.
Just as important as yes.
Right. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. How can people get a hold of you?
How can people get a hold of me? They can find me on Facebook. I happen to be there quite a bit. Barbra Portzline. And my website is rebelresultsmethod.com. My company's Organizational Rebel. So it's rebelresultsmethod.com. That's the best way. You can email me, any of that stuff from there.
All right. Perfect. And how can people get a hold of you, Terry?
You can find me on LinkedIn at Terry, Terri, last name Dean, Dean. Or you can find me on any of the FemCity sites. If you're watching this on FemCity, that's an easy way in. But I'm pretty easy to track down.
Right.
And what about you, Ken? How can people get in touch with you?
Miss Thomas.
Yeah, that sounded so natural. Yeah, look how that sounds. I am on, if you're watching this through our FemCity platforms, and for those of you who are watching us on YouTube or listening to our podcast in other areas, FemCity is a women's networking group for mostly entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals. It's amazing. So if you're watching through FemCity platforms, you can just look me up in the Fems directory. I also have a website with a huge picture that just talks about me, so I got to update that.
I love it. Yes.
Which is CandaceThomasIntuitive.com. And you can also, I'm on social media, and I respond to direct messages all the time, as long as you're not creepy. Weird stuff, I don't mind. Creepy stuff, I mind greatly. And Barbra, I just want to also thank you for being, because I didn't even ask you, but thank you for being willing to share about your intuition and how you're working with clients in that way. That was kind of on the spot for her. So just thank you for humoring us, and thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.